Okay.
Welcome to another edition of Shabaka's Black Experience in Hand. All power to the people.
Astronomically speaking, I came from your distant future, not to preach but to reach. So when you start to dig deep, you dig deeper and deeper, you have to scratch the surface. Check it out.
Let me take you to a place that I've never been. But if we were to go, then I'm sure we go again. Traveling past the Milky Way, star-studded lines, looking for the future with the flame burning bright. Round and round and up and down, we orbit round the moon. We just passed the Milky Way, we'll be back home by noon.
Said, are y'all ready? Black power! Always. Black power! Are y'all ready? Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Y'all ready? Here we go.
And to the Credentials Committee. My
Okay.
And to the Credentials Committee.
Take her back down. Okay. All right. Take Fannie Lou down. Okay, I'm off mute. Okay. All right. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced here on StreamYard. Okay, the air date of this episode here, ladies and gentlemen, is June 24th, 2025. I got our man with us there up out of the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? I'm here in the West, coming to you from Sin City, as you see the avatar there in the background. Okay, so we're going to turn it over here to our man there on the East. Okay, go ahead, brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, but yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, okay. So therefore, so this is the wars and rumors of wars. You see what I'm saying? And then on top of it as well, too, is that who knows what's getting ready to happen. You see what I'm saying? And the only thing I could say is that, let us be careful, Black family. Let us think before we strike. You know what I'm saying? And then we have to be very, very careful, you say. And so I'm currently creating a post right here, okay, on Facebook. Okay, on Facebook, entitled "We Live Now." Okay, and then what I'm going, yes, sir. Okay, and then I'm putting the URL here. Okay, and please click to join. Is that what I'm putting up here? Okay, and okay, please click to join. Okay, and I'm putting this here. Yes, and I'm putting this here to friends only, not the general public. And okay. All right, and sorry about that there, folks. We had a glitch right there. Okay. And oh God. Okay, folks. Okay, alrighty. We're back up right here. We're waiting in for Dynamite to join us. Okay, so we're doing this information here on the fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976, and we're also are live here on YouTube as well too. Okay, so as soon as Lightning get in here, okay, because we're going to be talking about the current events. All right, and then I'm going to unmute his mic. Okay. Okay, all right. So he's still in the self-mute mode. Okay, so number one is that we're looking at these wars and rumors of wars, and then what does this mean for us as Black people, of how that we're going to be dealt with. You see what I mean? And then on top of it is that we got to ask ourselves, what are we going to do for us? You see what I'm saying? And what have you? Say is because it's real bad, folks. It really is. And then the cold part about it is that how they want us to sit up here, go with this BS, you know what I mean, and what have you. Say so, people, we can't do it anymore. We got to take care of our own selves first. You say, and then the cold part about it is that what are we going to do? You say, in regard, for our self-preservation. You see what I mean? And then, of course, you have a lot of those out there saying, oh, well, you guys are wrong and all this old type of stuff and things of that nature right there. And then the cold part about it is that when we sit up here and want to do for ourselves, you see, then they want to sit up there and say that we're racist, and I don't understand that at all. You see, I really, really don't understand that at all. So, so what's up with that? Okay, so we're waiting for Lightning, to come on right here, and I'm gonna unmute his mic. Okay. Okay, so you with us there, Lightning? Okay. All right. Well, first place, ladies and gentlemen, we know about the turmoil that's going on. Okay, number one. Also, two is, but what are we going to do to make ourselves self-sufficient? Okay. And then also, two is because we still got to provide for ourselves. You see what I mean? And then also, two, we got to defend ourselves, and we got to have more cohesiveness within the Black community. Okay. And so then to be more cohesiveness within the Black community. Okay. So we got to, oh, there's Black Power right there. Okay.
Sorry, my other device is messing up on me, man. I'm sorry, brother. But I'm back with you now. I'm gonna see if I can get Brother Pete on the line too.
Okay, absolutely. And then too, so we got to provide clothes for ourselves, number one. We got to provide food for ourselves on some agriculture, number two. You see what I mean? And then,
You can't be that far away. We can't hear you.
okay, all righty. And then two.
Sound like you're in the other room. We can't hear you, brother. You gotta be right up on it.
Okay, yeah, I'm right up on it right now. Can you hear me?
And we can hear you now, but I can hear you when you were like way away. We couldn't hear you then. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So I'm up on it right now. So what can we do to make ourselves self-sufficient? Okay, so one is that we got to control some type of agriculture. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to feed ourselves, number one. Then two is we got to have some type of infrastructure for food, okay, agriculture, but also too, we gotta have ourselves, to have some type of industries for ourselves, to make ourselves self-sufficient. And keep in mind, this isn't racism, this isn't hatred, this is pretty much about us taking a responsibility for ourselves. You see? Okay, so what do you got to say in regard to that there?
Black Power. Well, you're gonna have to repeat it because, like I said, when you step far away, I can hear you.
Okay, so what do you got to say in regard to that there, Black Power?
I don't even know what you said, brother, because you're like too far away.
Oh no, I'm just talking about us being self-sufficient.
Oh
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, having own everything.
Yes, sir. I'm talking about as far as building our own infrastructures. Okay, number one. Number two,
planting our own food.
Planting our own food, and also too putting our own people to work. You say?
Yeah.
See, so we got to be consistent with all of that. Otherwise it's not gonna work. You see, it's because if you notice, all these other groups, want to come up to us, talking about what we need to be doing, in regard to helping everybody else out, man, and we just can't do that. You see what I'm saying? We can't do that at all, and it's
definitely
just ridiculous. Yeah, it's just ridiculous, and then on top of that, you got all these other groups up here, man, capitalizing off of us. You see what I'm saying? And then when we talk about doing something for ourselves, man, they saying, well, you guys are racist and all this old type of stuff, man. And it's just downright crazy. Yeah. And you see, man.
What do you mean? Like, well, I mean, this is our first time on the air, so I don't know. Ha ha. So
Yeah.
I was just saying, whenever you say Black Power, they seem to like go crazy. And think that that means when they say white power, it's not the same thing. Not at
Yeah,
all.
exactly. Yeah, not
You
the
know,
same
and
thing.
not
And
have
then
nothing to
also,
do with racism. We got everything to do with help uplift our own people, just like they help uplift their own people. You know?
exactly. You see, so
Yeah.
the thing is, I don't understand is how are they going to sit up there, man, and saying that we racist, right? Okay, and when in
Well, remember
actuality,
that's our first time, so you ain't got to worry about that. Anybody saying nothing? We popping it off from the. This is the first time they ever heard our voices. Ha ha! You
yeah,
know, well,
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
not yours. Yeah, you famous. So you
yeah,
famous. See, I'm not. But this is like maiden voyage. So all the love gonna come up in here. So we ain't got none of them
oh
haters
yeah,
that was on Blog Talk. They a thing of the
yeah,
past.
exactly,
They sunk with the
yeah.
ship, and we rose to the top.
Yes, sir, absolutely. You know what I mean? And then
So don't
also too,
everybody hate you on here, 'cause everybody on my channel love you. Ha ha.
oh yeah, and then too, and if you got anybody there on YouTube, man, they welcome to come up on there because we are on YouTube as well too. And then and we got some clips here. You know, one clip I want to put up here is this. It's like old girl who was running for president, right? Now check out what she says.
that. So I'm not
Right.
gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No, because
Okay, now
Ha ha. You got it.
yeah, yeah. Say now the problem with that black family is this. Okay, so therefore you got these black politicians who want us to go out there to support them. You see what I mean? And then they don't do nothing to support us. Is because she was against the reparations for black people who built this country. Okay, then you have these other factions out here talking about that we was already here when in actuality, it is documented of how we were brought here. Now, I'm not saying that we didn't intermingle, what they would call the Native Americans or the indigenous people, but, they had such nations themselves, such as the Iroquois Nation, the Navajo Nation, the Apache Nation, the Seminoles, and what have you. But then you had the president by the name of Andrew Jackson that went about with the Indian Removal
Johnson.
Act.
You mean Andrew Johnson?
No, sir, Andrew
Sir
Jackson.
Vito? Oh,
Yeah,
Jackson.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, because Jackson is the one that signed the legislation in there called the Indian Removal Act, where they were taking such nations and moving them out here to the West. Now, keep in mind, they didn't have cars back then. Okay, so the ones who was taking them to the West had the indigenous people walking. You see what I'm saying? Walking. And I believe this is what they had called the Trail of Tears. And then if anybody in there, feel free to correct me because we got some comments here or a couple of comments in the
Oh yeah,
chat.
already. That's fast. Ha ha.
Yeah,
Hey,
well, it says here.
share the broadcast, y'all. Everybody share the broadcast. We need to go up. We're trying to go up because ain't nobody gonna
Absolutely.
give y'all the truth. They're gonna give y'all the okey doke. This is the only
No.
way,
Yeah.
only place you're gonna get the unfiltered truth. The whole
Oh,
truth and nothing but the
absolutely.
truth. So help me God.
Yeah, and the rating of this show right here is G. Okay, you can't be using no cuss words and all this stuff right here because they're trying to shut us down.
Don't go so far away. You telling them important stuff.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt.
Take the microphone with you.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
this
okay.
show is adult, but it's welcome for all ages. We want the whole family there. You know, your children, your grandmama. So be respectful, and we really appreciate if nobody come on cussing and not. Actually, ain't nobody gonna come on that we don't know anyway, so it don't really matter.
Exactly. You see what
But
I'm saying? And that's for real. You say, And then also too, make an adjustment here to Facebook, okay, is because they were saying here is that boy, okay, is that we got to make this here public, okay, and that's what we're doing, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm pushing the right buttons. You know what
It
I'm
is public.
saying?
It's public on
Yeah,
Facebook and public on definitely YouTube is public all day, every
yeah,
day. You know?
exactly, exactly, and so therefore, and we're trying to share it on Facebook, okay, and then
And
let's
bear,
see.
can I tell the people what's going on? Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to get it together for the maiden voyage, and we was running a little bit
Right,
behind. So now we
right.
kind of like sending out invites and doing the show. So it's
Yes,
an open mic, open forum. So if you got anything that you think Black America should know, bring it.
yeah,
You
yes,
know.
sir, absolutely, without a doubt. Okay,
And no
and
racism and no personal BS. If you got if you got any hate, just leave the haterade at home. It's all love.
exactly, exactly. You see what I'm
And
saying?
plus, and Mr. Swartz is listening in. I got him on retainer, and he's ready to do his thing. He know how to pop off way better than me. But I gotta pay the man. Damn it!
Yeah, exactly. You say, and also too, we are sharing this episode to our brothers in Milwaukee, the People's News Network. Okay, we see we're up on their wall, and it appears that the administrator, of that platform has approved us. And if you're out there, brother, feel free to click the link and join us. Okay, all righty. So now with these wars that is going on and wars, okay, and look at, and we're glitching out on another platform because it keeps rebuffing. It keeps rebuffing on it. Okay, all right, there we go. So what are we gonna do? Say, what are we gonna do? And I'm wondering if we can get some comments there in the chat room, and feel free to do such. And then I do believe that we got people in there, man, that could click the link to join us in the studio. Okay. So we're going to see, who's going to join us, you say, and you're more than welcome, And then they were saying here, some other, stuff that's going on. And then we're going to show the comments on stage, okay? And people could comment here, I believe, off in the chat room as well. Okay, all righty.
And let them know no
So,
next will be put up because Mr. Swartz and Mr. Bernstein are just waiting.
oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so
They
this
got
is
their finger
definitely a
on the
G
trigger.
rating.
They got
Oh,
their
yeah,
finger on the trigger. Ha
yeah,
ha ha.
yeah, without a doubt, So
uh,
therefore, this is a G rating. We can't have no cussing or anything like that. And we are on YouTube, okay, as well. And we're up here on Facebook as well. And the air date of this episode, once again, is June 24th, 2025. Okay. All righty. So therefore, when it comes to the current situation that you have with the 47th president. And, so there's a lot of controversy going on there with him. One is I'm going to start with these tariffs. Okay. Now, as we all
mm-hmm.
know, people, tariffs is an additional charge added on to when you go to the grocery store and you buy your groceries. When you go to the auto parts store, depending on which country that is coming from, they're going to put a tariff on that. So which means is that the price of it is going to go higher. You'll say, than what it is. You see what I'm saying? And I believe we had somebody coming here.
I
Oh,
got
okay, yes. Okay, so we got brother Joe. How you doing, brother Joe? Okay, unmute his mic. Okay, brother Joe.
Black
Okay,
Power.
how you doing?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there.
yes, sir. Okay, all right. So
Welcome
brother
to the
Joe.
maiden voyage. This is the maiden voyage, you know. They say we've been here for 1,000 years, but we're coming back again. We're gonna flip the script. We're gonna make everything positive.
Oh yeah,
And
and then also too, we're talking about these tariffs, and then also too is that there was a congressman who I believe is out of Texas. Okay, I forgot his name. The congressman out of Texas, and so what I saw that what he did is that he is trying to introduce the articles of impeachment on Donald Trump. You see what I'm saying? So, what do you gentlemen's feedback is on that?
I'll let Joe have that.
Okay. All right, his mic's muted.
All I know is he told both parties like what I've been watching ain't been turfs. It's been this brink of World War III. So he checked
Right.
Israel and Iran. I'm not mad at him.
Right. Okay. Now the question is, as we do know, right? Okay, you've had Andrew Johnson who was impeached. Okay, you had Bill Clinton who was impeached. Okay, you had Donald Trump impeached twice in his first term. Now, the only thing with the impeachment means, people, is that it's like you getting pulled over by the police, getting a traffic citation that says appear in court. Okay, so the impeachment means for him to appear in court, okay, and is presided over by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. You see what I mean? And then, of course, after all the evidence is introduced and what have you, and I believe that the U.S. Senate functions as the jury. You see what I'm saying? And then, of course, to show you how it's not going to get the impeachment, not going to get the conviction, is because the vice president, who will be the one pretty much acting like the jury foreman in the impeachment in the U.S. Senate, okay? Because as we do know, is that the vice president's prime function is to provide over the U.S. Senate. You see what I'm saying? And then the cold part about it is that you know, is he gonna get it? You see what I'm saying? The question is he gonna get it? You know what I'm saying? And our chat room is up there, opening up here on the YouTube as well too. So, I mean, is it a kangaroo court or not? You see what I mean?
Man, them trying to impeach him is the equivalent of you saving somebody from how do you say being beat or accosted, and that person that you
Right.
saved pressing charges on you.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Ever,
And
ever
then,
since the '80s, ever since the
yeah,
'80s, we've been trying to take out Iran's nuclear program. Iran
right,
nuclear program is dead, and you want to impeach him for this. So you
right.
want to impeach this man because he's prolonged. Because eventually, someone's going to get a radiological terrorist attack. But you want to
Yeah,
impeach this man for pushing off a second sun rising above America. Like you can come at him
yes, sir.
for anything else, but for that though, yeah,
Yeah,
that's like pressing charges against your savior, someone who
yeah,
saved your
yeah,
life.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? And then the cold part about it is,
Maybe one thing though, did he forget that that one dude wasn't by himself? He had a
yeah,
Chinese dude
exactly.
that was standing they were standing around the corner. Did he forget? That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying. And
yeah,
his
exactly.
he damn sure spanked him. He spanked him, make sure that he ain't got no nuclear capabilities. See, but now
Yeah.
he get support from other countries. And like, goodness
it,
gracious.
it, it don't matter that the other countries he's going to get support from will have to launch an intercontinental ballistic missile. This won't be somebody crossing our southern border with a dirty bomb.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And of course, we all do know what that means. What a dirty bomb is radiation. You see what I mean? And you have to look at if history could be learned from is that when they dropped those atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Okay. So then look at all the damage that had happened, to the public over there on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Now let's quote history right here, and our chat room is open right there. People would like to chime in on their chats. Okay, now the U.S. okay had told Emperor Hirohito, okay, please surrender because we got something for you. Now, when this was going on, they were moving the atomic bomb over there to put it on the plane that dropped it called the Enola Gay. Okay. So the first one that got dropped on was Hiroshima. Okay. So then they went and dropped the bomb. It was devastating. Okay. So then Truman, who was the president at that time, had stated, to the Japanese empire or the emperor Hirohito, well, look, go ahead and surrender because if you don't, we're getting ready to drop another one. Okay, so he didn't surrender, so he dropped the other one. You say. And then, from what I understand, if I got my research right, that Truman had made it be known that if you guys in the Empire of Japan do not surrender, I'm getting ready to drop this daggone thing on Tokyo, which is the third shot, of course, as we all know, which is Japan's capital. All right. So therefore, Emperor Hirohito
Can you
makes the
the
famous
people?
line.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm bringing up the live on my page as well, so they didn't get the gist of what we're doing. You might want to hit them up with that one more time because I just went live.
Oh, okay. All right. So what we're doing is that we have an open mic discussion about current events. Okay, and we're on Donald Trump. About the military situation that's happening over there with Tehran and what have you. Okay, and then I saw the president earlier today on the news is saying. The reason that things is happening over there is that Iran, quote unquote, and this is his quote, is that Iran don't know what the F it's doing. You see what I mean? So we got to keep the language clean here, so this is open for all ages.
No, no, no. I
Okay.
gotta stop you. I gotta stop you. No, he said neither one of them. He say that they've been fighting for so many years. Neither one of them know what the f they're doing.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected, brother. I
Yeah,
stand corrected.
God, I ain't never heard an American president cuss before.
Oh yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But from what I understand is that Harry Truman was known for his cussing, and that's why when he ended World War II, they made that statement about him called "Give him hell, Harry." You know what I mean? Is because as we all do know, what had happened is that Roosevelt, who was the president, died in early 1945. I believe he died in April of 1945 in a place called Warm Springs, Georgia. Okay. All right. So then Truman, naturally, of course, was sworn in as the president. And I would imagine that the speaker, no, is that the president pro tem of the Senate had automatically moved off into the vice president position if I got my political science right. You see what I mean? Okay, so then Truman dropped the atomic bomb. Okay, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, as we both said, total devastation. You see, is because I even saw film clips recently, like in the last couple of months, of how some of the elders who were still left over from that time describing the devastation, number one, and then they said it was extremely hot, and then they said it started raining, and it was a black rain. You see what I'm saying? The rain came down black, for that contamination being there in the air. You say, so as we all know, is that the atomic bomb, to Einstein's theory, was splitting the atom, right? Now, to take it to the next level of destruction, what they've done since then is that now they split the nucleus of the atom. That makes it even more devastating. You see what I mean? So if we got some physicists here or people educated there listening to us out there, okay, feel free to chime in. You see what I'm saying? And what have you. And then, are we still being heard out there, people? Yes, we are. Okay. All right, just doing some
Away from me, called me. I had to go get something cold to drink.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
a dirty bomb a little different though, brother. A dirty bomb a
Okay,
little
enlighten me.
different than a hydrogen bomb or a thermonuclear bomb. A dirty bomb, the radiological device. So they use RDX or TNT or C4. They use that to detonate. Let's say some radiological material out of an X-ray machine. They use that to detonate that and spread it over a wide surface to give radiation sickness, and it'll vary depending on how close you are to the bomb. Now, if done
Right.
right, the people closest to ground zero, it ain't the explosion that's gonna get you. It's gonna be the radiation killing your immune system that's gonna get you.
System, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is a fact, you see. And so then you know how that there is going to be. You see what I mean? And then the cold part about it is that, and then you got the lingering diseases that's coming over there to you. You see what
And
I'm
birth
saying?
defects, damage to
Yeah, birth
DNA.
defects, the cancer, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature right now, you see. And then, of course, how that there carries on, for the next generations after that. You see what I'm saying? So you got to look at, that aspect of it. And then not to mention the fact, man, is that, of how this stuff is irreparable. You see what I mean? It's irreparable. You see what I'm saying?
Hey,
And then the cold part about that is, man, so how you gonna deal with that? You see, and then then how it carries on from generation to generation, and then of course, what's this here gonna do? To other life forms here on the planet. You see what I mean? Yeah, you see, so let's get some feedback, on that. Okay, Brother
well,
Joe, if you'd like to elaborate.
well, in the like I say, with them taking out Iran, it really lowered our chances for somebody to sneak into the country and detonate a dirty bomb. Now, it did raise the stakes on maybe China or somebody trying to arm them, but you got to understand the way yellow cake, plutonium, and stuff works. It can be after an explosion, it can be traced directly back to the manufacturer. So if China gives Iran something and they use it against Israel or the United States, it'll be traced back to China. Our bombs fly past their bombs, mutually assured destruction, nuclear war, nuclear winter. So like I
Exactly.
say, it's a matter of time before someone ends up with the nuclear material and one of these fools detonate themselves in a crowded
Oh
place.
yeah.
But it's not going to be the explosion that a traditional nuclear bomb would be. This would be spreading radiation, contaminating an area, and killing off a generation of people in that vicinity. It probably won't be many either, but
Mhm.
it's a threat because already people have started attacking churches and stuff. So and on that and on that
Yes.
and on that west and on that west coast, the LA vice mayor, she just called on the Hispanic gangs to defend their hoods against ICE. So you black folk, you Negroes, hey, y'all be careful because the LGBT hate y'all for not joining the protest, and the Mexicans hate y'all for not joining the protest, and the vice mayor of LA calling for the Mexicans and the Latinos to defend their hood and their territories.
My. You
That
know
was
what
a
I'm saying?
I thought that was just some woman talking.
She's the vice
And that
mayor
is the
of
vice
Los
mayor.
Angeles.
Yes.
Man,
Okay. Now, yeah. Now, keep in mind, people, is that the vice mayor. Okay. I mean that the mayor of Los Angeles. Okay, is pretty much is a figurehead. You say, but the real power rests what they would call the commissions of the various departments. So you got the LA, you got the police commission, you got the fire commission, you got the commission of water and power and things of that nature there, commissioner for the Department of Transportation, thus and so, to whereas in a lot of municipalities, okay, is that the mayor is pretty much the chief executive, you see. And then the cold part about it is that you don't have that there in the city of Los Angeles. You see what I'm saying? And so maybe the state of California needs to see what commission would that be in California? The state legislature probably needs to make some type of law to change that. You see, is because when you got an emergency situation, then a decision needs to be made. But if you got to go through a legislative body, you see what I'm saying? Then that there, is time consuming. You see, it
have her.
really is.
I'm going to deport her. She better be careful.
See, see,
She ain't gonna
see.
she ain't gonna get deported. The new American progressive and liberal way is to be treasonous against one's own country. This won't
Mm.
fly. This won't fly nowhere else. This will only fly in the USA, France, basically NATO countries. But it won't fly in Germany. It won't fly in Austria. It won't fly in those. It won't fly in those Eastern Bloc countries because they would be tried with treason.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
They
Yes,
they
sir.
they would choke on their food. You understand? They would fall out
Yeah.
a window.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. You say, and then the cold part about it is too, is that but we got to look at how do we preserve ourselves. You see,
I
Mm.
got I got one step.
yeah.
I got one step. Stop reaching out to everybody outside of this country and get ourselves together before we send an olive branch anywhere. Because there ain't
Yeah,
no unity in it between us.
Mm.
exactly. You see what I'm saying? And then just like Queen Latifah, when she had first came out, didn't she make a song called UNITY? Unity. You see, that's what it's spelled. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the congressman out of Texas to introduce articles of impeachment, I believe his name is Al Green.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Al Green got removed off the floor for disrupting his commencement speech. I remember that.
Yeah. So there.
Okay. Okay, and then what about the dude, man, the U.S. Senator from California who tried to go in there, man, they just went there, they just straight bomb rush him, man. You know what I mean? And that's the part that got me, you see. About they just went up there and just bomb rush the cat, man, and threw him down there on the ground and handcuffed him and all this whole type of business people. And then, and then I'm
I,
up there saying, this is kind of strange, you know?
but
Yeah,
look
this is
though, check
yeah,
it out.
that's
I, I,
yes, sir.
I want everybody to take their feelings towards Trump and the part each party out of this, and I want you to sit back and think about this. When have you ever seen politicians get arrested and go to jail?
You
Mm.
have.
Nope.
I mean, we've been kind of witnessing that now. Judges been going to jail for freeing illegals and letting them out back doors and harboring them in their houses. Like, when
Okay.
have when have you ever heard of judges doing this for black folk?
Yeah,
Last
Mm.
time you heard people doing something like this for black folk, it was doing the Underground Railroad. Ever since then, it's been hell. Ain't nobody tried to hide us or help us or nothing like that. So, this ain't our fight.
yeah, that part. Yeah, that part. You know what I'm saying? That part. And then the cold part about it is, too, when it comes to us, when you got black mayors like Brandon Johnson, Eric Adams, Tom Bradley of Los Angeles, what do they sit up there and say? Well, we ain't gonna do nothing specifically for black people. No, you
Loud
see?
and clear.
Yeah,
Or
so
or
already,
or the wordplay is what we do for black people, we do for everybody, but everybody
yeah,
else gets
all
something
inclusive.
in particular done for them. Like we still ain't got no hate crime bill. Like you got truckers and
Exactly.
everybody coming up hung, and we don't have no hate crime bill. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You see, so what's up with that?
we
You
learned
know what
some
I'm
lessons
saying?
recently too. Hmm. In New
Yeah,
York, the New York lynching. Yeah,
yeah. See, so what's up with that? You
they
see what
called
I
it,
mean?
they tried to call it suicide.
Yeah, you see, yeah,
It was Albany, New York, but I could be mistaken. I'm just going by memory.
yeah, you see, and that's what I'm talking about right here, like with Sandra Bland.
Don't go too far away, Shabaka. We can't hear you.
Okay, all right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
okay, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, okay. It's because I'm here on a Bluetooth, you see, and because my microphone that I hook up there, to
What were you? You was asking something when you walked away.
okay, yeah. So I'm saying is what black politician ever did something specifically for black people? Rather if it's been a governor, rather if it's
Mary
been a mayor,
Barry,
or rather if it's been a president. It's a
Marion Barry, he was
matter.
all people's champ.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You see, it doesn't happen. You see what I'm saying? It really
Mhm.
doesn't happen. You know, and then two, it makes us wonder, just what the heck is we doing? You see what I'm saying? Just
Mhm.
what the heck is we doing? Why we keep banging our head against a wall, man, and expecting a different result every time? You see, it just don't make any sense. You see, and then on the top of it as well too, because
You got
we built a
leaders out
country.
here guiding us in saying we're gonna shoot for something that we know we can't get, but that's what they want me to tell y'all. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking anyway.
so yeah. So that there's kind of like a carrot on a stick. You know what I'm saying? Because like how they would sit up there and say, if you want a donkey to move, you put a carrot on a stick in front of him, and he's constantly going forward, trying to bite the carrot, but he's moving forward. So therefore, it's an act of deception for all
Mhm.
practical purposes. You follow
Mhm.
me?
Yes,
Yeah. So
sir.
yeah, and then on top of it, to add insult to injury, when ICE was there in Los Angeles, you had the Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who tried to state that she's a member of Congress and she wants to go in there and see what ICE is doing. What they do, they go slam the door in her face, man. Now, what is that? And the woman is a congresswoman from Los Angeles. You see what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see,
Mm.
and that there is what kills me, man. I mean, I was blown away by that, man. And I remember Maxine Waters because she used to be my congresswoman.
But you,
You see,
but you
and
see,
she,
let me stop you at Maxine Waters real quick, brother. You see the problem? There's no problem with being militant. There's no problem with resisting this system. But when you put your people in line, not to crash, but to get crashed on, I can't
Yeah.
honor you, and I can't honor Miss Maxine, my Auntie Maxine, for that,
Okay.
because she was telling black folk, if you see certain white folk doing certain things, go crash out on them. Well, white folk is the majority of the armed people in America, so you kind of was setting a
Right.
lot of black folk up for voluntary suicide.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Yeah, for real. See, so what it is to countermand that, okay, like, and what's bringing to mind to me about this is that
You got
there's what Newton was calling in regard, to revolutionary suicide. You know what I'm saying?
All
Yeah, you
right.
say that's what he wrote off in his book, and then too, if I recall, is that when Newton had wrote up the 10-point program, okay, you had
Mm-hmm.
those that says well, it pretty much fits there with the U.S. Constitution. You see, and I'm wondering if we ought to read the 10-point program, as per Dr. Newton. Or do you think, well, does everybody got time for that?
Hey, we got time today.
Okay, all righty, here we go. And I'm pulling this here out of the book called "The Panther's a Black Cat" that was first published in 1971. And it's an account of the early years of the Black Panther Party, its origins, its goals, and the struggle for survival. And the author of this book here is Reginald Major, and we're using this information for fair use. You say, not taking nothing from his creation. You know what I'm saying? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so all right, so here we go. The statement of the Black Panther Party for self-defense on the Mulford Act now pending for the California legislature of what they did, okay, and which they had outlawed the 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 Second Amendment for all practical purposes in California is because, as you know, the point number 7 that we're going to get to. Okay. All right. So point 1 of the party originally was we want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of our school. We believe that we will not be free within the schools to get a decent education unless we are able to have a say and determine the type of education that will affect and determine the destiny of our people. Okay. And that's when you got up there with Ron DeSantis with that woke business, you know what I'm saying, about how they was pulling all the books about Black history off the shelves. You see what I'm saying? And I'm quite sure that this book was one of them. Okay, number 2, we want full enrollment in the schools for our people. We believe that the city and federal government is responsible and obligated to give every man a decent education. Okay, number 3, we want an end to the robbery by the white man of our Black community. We believe that this racist government has robbed us of an education. We believe that this racist capitalist government has robbed the Black community of its money by forcing us to pay higher taxes for less quality. We want decent educational facilities fit for the use of our students. We want an education for our people that teaches us how to survive in the present day society. Number 6, we want all racist teachers to be excluded and restricted from our public schools, okay? Number 7, we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of our people. We want all police and special agents to be excluded and restricted from school premises, okay? And that there was a main factor of which they were occupied, which was point number 7. We want all students that have been exempt, expelled, or suspended from school to be reinstated. Number 9, we want all students when brought to trial to be tried in student court by a jury of their peer groups or students of their school, right? Okay. And point number 10, we want power, enrollment, equipment, education, teachers, and justice and peace. You see what I mean? And so therefore, you know, man, and looking at what's currently going on, you know, that seems to me, man, that there ought to be even more emphasized on, particularly with this woke stuff. You see what I'm saying? And then also too of and then and here's some points that they had on what we want, what we believe. You see, and let me see here. I'm up here at number 9. Okay, so I think they only had 9 points on this, on what we believe. Okay. All right. 1, we want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of our Black community. We believe that Black people will not be free until we are able to determine our destiny. We want full employment for our people. We believe that the federal government is responsible and obligated to give every man employment or a guaranteed income. We believe that if the white American businessman will not give full employment, then the means of production should be taken from the businessman and placed in the community so that the people of the community can organize and employ all of its people and give a higher standard of living. We want to end to the robbery by the white man of our Black community. Number 4, we want decent housing. Number 5, we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present day society. And then, of course, you know, we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of Black people. We want freedom for all Black men held in federal, state, county, and city jails. We want all Black people, when brought to trial, to be tried in court by a jury of their peer groups or people from their Black communities as defined by the Constitution of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Okay, what's your feedback on that, gentlemen?
Yeah, yeah, that's right on time. You giving it the original. I was like, wow, he was making
Yeah,
it about schools, you know.
yeah.
Well,
And we
well, long
should,
opportunity. I just want to say everybody can throw stars up. They can send stars, show their support until we can get a means of a way, you know, to send some greenbacks in. We're trying to build up and redo it and restructure it and start it off with love. And like all them haters is in the rearview mirror. They don't exist no more. But yeah, as far as the the 9 local objectives and 10-point platform, I see it's changed a few times over the years, but we still got the same goal. You know, we're tired of having our people living in the slums. We want decent housing fit for human beings, not for a pigsty, not somewhere where you know where you want to like where you want to what do you call it when the place where they have dogs in a kennel,
oh, yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? You
like
know, and
into the racist police brutality.
yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? You know, like what they were saying was with point number 7. You see what I mean? And then the cold part about it is, man, is that, you know, but any other group, man, feel like, you know, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. You know what I mean? And it's just and it's a trip. You know, it really is a trip. And then on top of it, when we sit up there and try to say things, man, you know, addressing these issues, you say we're pretty much like, well, you know, they tell us, well, you guys are racist, you guys are racist, you guys are racist, and all this old type of stuff. You know what I mean? And that's not racism wanting justice. You see, And then they figure that we supposed to be all so forgiving, like case in point, and you witness this here yourself, Lightning, with you and your man Sarge and Joe Gibson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they come up there and tell us about these other groups, and we try to tell them that that you know that we trying to want to become self-sufficient, and then when we tell them, well, man, we built your nation. Oh no, well, what about in other words, man, it's an old word play, man, called diversion. You see what I'm saying? So, instead of you dealing with this truth that we're talking about, right, you want to divert us, you say, from getting our message out. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't, I understand it, and I don't understand it. You see what I mean? And it's crazy. And it really is crazy, and things of that nature right there.
I'm hitting the read.
Yeah, you say,
Read
and
that.
then,
They not even known over here.
yeah, you see,
That's
and
why Joe lost the election. If he
yeah,
had if he was trying to really come on there, right, he might have got some black votes.
exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Try hate
And then,
bill for black folks, and he ain't say nothing
yeah,
about him backing the reparations, and
yeah, oh
instead
yeah, and then
on
black
that
reparations. You
hillbilly
see,
shit.
yeah, because these other groups are talking about that we don't deserve reparations, and what they say, well, that happened so long ago, nobody is left alive who was that. But you see, and as you had witnessed there,
Black
Lightning,
power.
yeah, is that when we was up there, man, and we was talking about, okay, yeah, we got somebody there, that we're adding to the stage. Okay. All right. I think I know who that is. TB. We added you to the stage, ma'am, and just unmute your mic, and we'd be more than happy to hear to get some input from you as well. Okay. All righty. So, but what you look at, people, is that you made an initial investment. Okay, you the slave trader, right? Okay. Let's go with 1776. Okay. So you a slave trader and you purchase these slaves. Okay, you purchase, say, 3 men, 2 women, right? Regardless of what you had paid for them. So now they work in your agriculture. You see what I'm saying? Now they're doing steel work for you, right? Okay, so you're selling agriculture, so that's bringing you revenue, right? Now you're getting pure revenue because the only output that you're putting on there is what you purchased for the land and what you purchased for the seed, right? Okay, so now you got the slaves up there working it, you know what I mean? And they are generating revenue for you. You see what I'm saying? And then as they generate revenue, you taking this revenue and you reinvesting it again and again and again and again. Okay, you follow me?
Yes, sir. We're right here with you.
Yes, sir. Okay. So then what happens was is after so many generations, plus you're making money off the slaves that you're selling off the offspring of the slaves. You see what I mean? That's what
Mm-hmm.
Black Friday was about. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Tell
when we talk about Black Friday, we're not talking about the day after Thanksgiving where everybody go bash each other in the head trying to be the first one to get into Walmart to spend their money. You see what I mean? All right. So then, as we all know,
the original.
and then as we all know, okay, and we're adding to the stage our sister there, okay, And we also too got another sister there. Both you ladies.
Oh, but like you don't know my name.
Yeah, I can. I know your name. Okay, now unmute your mic and please join in the conversation. Okay,
Well,
all
this
right.
is the thing right here is that, of course, they turn around and stealing again, right? They keep on overtaxing us in the stores and everything
Uh
else.
huh. Absolutely.
And
You know, just like
and
with
they
old.
turn around and they're making you think that you doing something, but you really ain't doing nothing. But by the time they finish with you, you're gonna say you did it. And they
Yeah.
going back to those tactics again.
Oh,
Because
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
That is for sure. You know what I'm saying? And also too, I see we got sister here from Detroit is in there with us as well too. You know, and feel free to unmute your mic, ma'am. You know, and join in the conversation. You know, and so then what they do is that they still want us to have faith in them when they don't have faith in us. You see what I mean? You know? And they don't, yeah, okay. And I see somebody had dropped, okay. They can click back in if they so desire, you know. And then when we go up here and mention this, okay, these other groups tell us, well, you need to get over it and all that. How are you going to tell us, and you're not a member of our group, of what to get over? You see? And
And
then
this is
when we go, yes, so go ahead, Brother Joe.
and you just made my point for why I say we need to push more for unity amongst us here in America, because through all these crimes that's committed against us, and from murder to housing redlining and stuff, they all of them tell us, Asians, Mexicans, whites, they all tell us, get over it. That's the past. You shouldn't have resisted. Just follow the law. So now that
Yeah.
those same rules apply to them.
Oh, absolutely. And then keep in mind is that like how they had what was those three amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th amendments, one to outlaw slavery. The other one was to make them a citizen. And the other one was the right to vote. You know, I'm just paraphrasing. So feel free to comment in the chat room, you know, as well too. And then, because like I said, this here is our maiden voyage right here and whatnot. And then when we sit up here and talk about it, they telling us is that like we crazy. And then the cold part is you got these other groups who is telling us what we need and what we don't need. And then you had a California state legislature who is Hispanic saying no to reparations that black people don't deserve it. Well, first place, lady, you not with our crew, so how you gonna tell us what we need? And then if we come out there and speak on some other group's business, oh, y'all are just being racist. Y'all are just being racist. You see, I mean, you know, what kind of ganip ganop is this, man? You know, and they sitting up here selling us wood nickels, or like when I was coming up that they used to say in the streets of LA, we getting our heads bumped. You know what I'm saying? Comments, please.
Y'all got that one.
Yep.
Round
Okay.
robin.
Yeah.
When it's about 4 to 6 states that allow illegal aliens to vote for legislature, mayors, and presidency and stuff, I mean, it says everything you need to know. The biggest upset that we're dealing with right now is the amount of illegals that were let in under the last administration, and it still
Right.
didn't win them the election.
Right.
That's what we're
Exactly.
dealing with right now.
Yeah. So in
So
other words, so they pretty much shot the American political system in the foot with that one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then just like with old President Obama, you know what I'm saying? You saw what he did. Then you see old girl, who was the vice president under Biden, get up there and says, well, I'm not going to do nothing strictly for black people.
Well,
No.
well, look at it like this too, because to be honest, we actually had 2 years of a female president under the Biden administration. If this man is dying from cancer, and he had been acting coherent within and he had been acting incoherent within his second year of the administration, that means his wife, who's a doctor, that means that Jean-Pierre, who was the press secretary, and that means that the
Right.
vice president had been running the presidency, and he was just a figurehead.
Exactly.
So on that note, the last 2 years of the Biden administration, we experienced what it would be like to have a female president.
Okay, all righty, that makes sense. That makes sense. So then, what happened was in the last year, the presidential election. Okay, Trump comes up there, right? Then he got elected, but what his supporters did is that they flipped the Congress in his favor. You see what I'm saying? Because you got a Republican president and you got a Republican Congress. You see, so quite naturally, of course, they're not going to go against the norm. But lately, what we all have been seeing is about how President number 47, has got a lot of discontent going on there in his camp. You see?
But this the thing. It would be so easy for Democrats and progressives to get and keep the presidency for the White House for the next 20 years. All they got to do is stop trying to take people guns and stop trying to diddle people children. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? And then, of course, that's another thing. This businessman is that what's going on, what they're doing with Sean Combs and things of that nature right there, right? And then they're saying all those looking bad for him, but I'm not passing no final judgment on him until the trial's over. And from what I understand, man, it's winding down. But look at all those other individuals that was doing the same thing that Sean Combs is accused of, and they didn't get caught.
Epstein, worse.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then from what I understand, man, the cat before Epstein was Weinstein, the Hollywood executive. Okay, and then I got unconfirmed reports that they was even saying the same stuff here about old boy who had the Playboy Mansion, Hugh Hefner.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
All charges were supposed to have been dropped against Weinstein. You hear me?
Oh yeah, but keep in mind he's getting hit in 2 states, man, because New York, I think, was charging him with some of it as well too. But California, man, they still got a court date scheduled for him as well too.
Man, these women lying, bro. Whole time Weinstein a eunuch.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
they made these. I'm sorry about that, brother. They made the women describe Weinstein's genitalia, and they described it incorrectly. Years ago, his testicles had rotted off. So what they described wasn't Weinstein.
My God, boy, that's crazy.
So go ahead.
Okay, and then keep in mind, man, look what they did to Bill Cosby a few years ago.
Spanish Fly, man. Come on, man. That's bogus. Like it's a look. Everybody wants that money and that power until they get the responsibility of that money and that power. Like what I've been seeing is a whole bunch of lies. Like it's crazy that the lie to implicate these men is loud, but these men getting acquitted is quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You see, so you got a whole lot of these backroom deals and shenanigans and things of that nature right there, man. So I just don't know what to say. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm sorry, we're gonna start our closing statements. And the air date of this episode here is June 24th, 2025. And although too it's got a missed date on our YouTube stream that's saying July 24th, but we're just making sure for our listeners out there on the YouTube is that this episode air date is June the 24th, 2025.
And I
Okay.
take accountability for that mistake too, because I was such a rush trying to get everything going. I'm trying to
Oh
help
yeah.
out being on the wall, and I don't know why I put 7, and and then got corrected and still left it there. So that was my fault. I apologize for that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Okay, so I'm gonna have you gentlemen do your closing statements, and then I see we have another party in here, Sister TB. Okay, that feel free, ma'am. You know, if you'd like to make a closing comment or comments, just simply unmute your mic, and we'll be, more than happy, to hear what you
We
got to say, man.
don't we got about 30 more minutes, though, right? But yeah,
Let's
it lasts a
yeah,
while.
yeah, yeah,
hmm
yeah. Okay, yeah. So we can go on here about another 30 more minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because we're live here.
Tell them, yeah, unmute the mic. Unmute the mic. Come on, we need to hear the ladies. Ladies, come on up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, all righty. Okay, our guest that we have in the studio chose, to mute the mic themselves. So please unmute your mic if you have any comments. And you should be able to go off into our chat room, if you'd like to have your comments read. And then, and it's basically, folks, is that we got to do for ourselves, you see. And that is my closing comment. Okay, Joe, your closing comment, then we go to Lightning.
True enough. Hey, we as black folk, we got every reason to be emotional about something. With the 6 months ago, AI couldn't, how do you say, duplicate humans. They would put too many fingers, and it was just noticeable that it wasn't real. In 6 months,
Yeah,
AI has gotten to the point where you almost can't distinguish real from fake. They got black folk talking ghetto and doing slogans. They got Bigfoot running around like he in the hood chilling with black folk. You understand what I'm saying? So I
yeah,
say this in the fashion of don't fall for rage bait. I put the rage bait definition in the chat. A
yeah,
lot of
oh
these
yeah,
things are meant to specifically trigger us, to make us go off on the deep end and to
okay,
push us over onto supremacist talking points. Man,
okay.
stay strapped, y'all, or get clapped. Stay out of these people thing. And if they come your way, put them in the dirt. Hit them with the switch. That's it.
Yes, sir. And then I'm going to read your, Joe, I'm going to read your comment here. Rage bait is content designed to provoke anger and frustration in viewers, ultimately driving engagement, like, comments, shares, and likes. It is a manipulative tactic used to boost online engagement, often by exploiting people's vulnerabilities and emotional responses. While it can increase views and revenue for creators, it could also lead to negativity, misinformation, and a toxic online environment. Yeah, that there's a fact on that right there. So, got to be, careful out there. And then if somebody's up there while we're still using their stuff as opposed to our own, just delete and block. I must have deleted and blocked about 250 people, with that. You know what I'm saying? And then I see we have a fourth party in here as well, too. And then okay. And then okay, and Brother Joe back to the stage, okay. And so we got 2, 4, 5 people in there. Okay, so just unmute your mics and make some closing comments with us.
Y'all drop off. If y'all drop off, just come right back. The StreamYard have be dropping sometime.
Right.
It can happen left and right. Yeah, love. So if y'all drop off, come on back.
Black power, raise first.
Hey, Queen,
Black
Black,
power, raise first. Raise first.
Absolutely.
How y'all?
Oh, we're doing all right there, Queen Mother. What we're doing is here, we're trying to get Shabaka's Black Experience and hands up here. We're working with shoestrings and bubble gum right now. This is our maiden relaunch, you see, is because we had some issues with them. And so we're talking about, the things here, the current events, Trump, and then also, too, we're having a general conversation. We was talking about the tariffs and what have you. And then not to mention the fact, Brother Ibrahim Traore over in Burkina Faso is paying
May
off
God
all
protect him.
No, absolutely. It's because they already are trying to make a move on him. It's because Trump sent his black 4-star general over there at Langley.
Man, that was. Now look,
Yeah,
brother, you know how I am about Pan African. When I say that is some bull that they pulled on that black man over there, man. Like, and this is where us as a group here need to be stronger, because when there's stuff done like that over there, us as a force can, how do you say, bring our government to the table and talk to them about that.
Oh, absolutely. And then you got to keep in mind is that the economies of England, France, the Netherlands, let me see, Portugal,
Ooh,
Spain.
ooh, I just thought about it. Yeah. I just thought about it. Hey, that strike on Iran killed bricks.
Oh, is that right?
It killed bricks.
Okay.
I ran one of the major oil producers for bricks.
Yeah. And he said that hurt him pretty bad, huh?
The war that's going over in Burkina Faso, think about it. All of the countries that were lined up with bricks right now are in some kind of brink of World War III conflict.
Okay, all right, you see, and then the cold part about it is, people, we don't know how they're going to fight World War III, but I tell you how they're going to fight World War IV. They're going to be doing that with sticks and stones. Connect the dots. You see what I'm saying? Connect the dots on that, And then the cold part about it is, this is why it's even more essential, okay, is that we come together, on a unified front. Now, as we do know that when they came up with Pan-Africanism in the 60s and early 70s and late 50s, okay, a lot of that was manipulated by colonizers, you see. But based on what I'm seeing of the president of Burkina Faso, he's pretty much standing on his own squares, because right now, what he is talking about now, with all the gold they got, they're going to start building up the infrastructures for the waterways, which is sanitation, for electricity. You see what I mean? For manufacturing and productivity. And of course, Africa gave the world agriculture. You see? Yeah, go ahead, bro.
You got to remember also, a lot of the leaders in countries around Traore are anti-Pan-Africans too. So they not with him, and they not with that movement.
Right. But Traore says he ain't got a problem with it. He's standing on his own square. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you got to understand also. I love the brother for that. But if he's standing on Pan-Africanism and the olive branch, but he got 10 people around him that's willing to smoke him over Pan-Africanism because Africans first, it get interesting. So that means that Once this European conflict is over, where they playing games with him, he got to deal with the people that's been selling them out for the last 8 years.
Oh, okay, all right. That there holds a whole lot of water because look what happened there in the Congo, with Patrice Lumumba. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Look what happened with Patrice Lumumba. You say it was the Belgians that did that job, and
Assassinated him.
yeah, and then not to mention the fact that the
He
Belgians,
freed the Congo from the Belgium first, though. What had happened?
yeah, and what had happened was that the Belgians that they were so wicked that they had the people in the Congo, they was forcing them to deal with rubber. From the rubber trees, right? So those who
Mhm.
didn't want to cooperate, they cut off their arms. But guess who mainly benefited from that rubber?
Who that?
It's a major tire manufacturing company today, Firestone.
Ooh, how about that?
Yes, sir. You see what I'm saying? So basically, if you really look at it, man, without these raw materials that come off the continent, man, the whole world's economy will collapse. You see what I
But
mean?
you
This is
you gotta
why.
look at the
Go ahead.
you gotta look at history, man. History tends to repeat itself. Last time that they were colonized like this by the Dutch and the white Europeans, a cure for polio came out of there as well as AIDS.
I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, like Ebola, right?
Now,
And if you
before
ever
you go to
saw,
Ebola, before
yeah,
you go to Ebola, who's in there right now? The Russians and the Chinese.
yeah,
And what the Chinese just do to the world.
yeah, exactly. And then keep in mind, though, too, is that there was a motion picture that they made called Outbreak in the early 80s, mid 80s, I believe. But you could pull it
Yeah.
up. But yeah, but
Oh,
Cuba Gooding Jr., he was in there, when he was coming up in his acting career, right? So
the
what it
outbreak
is,
monkey.
yeah, exactly. So what had happened was, man, is that it showed like 1966 in the beginning of the movie, right? Okay. So then the doctors who were over there, you know what I mean, is that they said, okay, we got this strand right here called Ebola. Okay, so we need help. And I think that they were even trying to call on the World Health Organization. But guess what they did with the village? They bombed it.
They
You
evaporated it.
Yeah. They bombed it. So then there's something about the little monkey, where they had this underground ring of them stealing exotic animals, like from Africa and smuggling them into the U.S. So they got the little monkey, right? Brought him over there, and that's why when you look at the movie poster for it, it shows the little monkey up there on the thing called Outbreak. So the little monkey, he gets out the cage or he scratches somebody in the facility where they got him at. So he goes out and sneezes, and then that's where it starts. So then somebody else caught it. Two or three people caught it after he sneezed. Then they went out, start sneezing it in public places. Then they went on and got it, and what happened. So therefore, it spread the pandemic. You see what I mean? But we're not going to touch that subject. You know what I'm saying? At all. But we're just putting it out there. Okay. All right, so let's start our closing comments. Unmute your mics and give us some feedback. We got comments right here. And let's see here. Okay.
Just glad to be here.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, without a doubt.
And
And
like we say, make that little error on. I'm like, man, I say, because tired or no tired, this is a maiden voyage, man. We gotta pull the anchor up, get moving
yeah,
because ain't no stopping us now. We got new
right.
audience with people, and it's like, man, we're gonna do this right because the people need to know what's going on, and we put
Absolutely.
them on game. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like
Absolutely. You see, and hold on.
when the monkeys got you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So therefore, we're trying to get some of the comments in here, but they're putting all kind of, oh man, they're putting all kind of monkey wrenches up here. You know what I'm saying?
They
And
talk.
then, yeah, and so,
I can say this,
yeah,
if you want to join me, and that'll be not this Saturday, but on the next Saturday, I will be talking about the
Come closer
request
to
for
so we can hear you good, please.
the excuse me.
Come closer to the mic so we can hear you better.
Okay, I have my earphones on. So can you hear me now?
But yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. Well, I'll be speaking on or talking about the quest for the illuminated African mind. So I will let everybody know when this will be taking place, and most likely it'll be on a Saturday, and
okay,
it'll be at around 7 p.m. So I gotta check all those times out because everybody has different times. So I'll let you know. So if you want to join me and have a discussion about that, then feel free.
absolutely,
Hey,
okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sister. Your headphones still got you low. Could you redo that without your headphones so you could be clear?
So just a minute. Okay, can you hear me?
Much better.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Wait just a minute.
okay,
Okay, can you hear me now?
A lot better.
Indeed.
Okay. So I said a week from today. Okay,
mm-hmm.
a week from okay, what is it? It'll be next Saturday, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. I'm gonna be talking about the quest for the illuminated African mind. If you're familiar with uh, the movie that came out about when the guy goes on the quest for the skull, um, it's gonna tell you the truth about what he was really after, and that is the African mind. So if you
Yeah,
want to join me on my show, then feel free to come on over, and I will let
Find
everybody
you.
know through Shabaka what time that'll be, and then you'll have to determine what time that'll be for you because I'm in Michigan, so it'll be 7 o'clock my time.
Are you gonna be on YouTube,
okay. So
Facebook? Can we find you?
Um, right now, um, that one is not on YouTube. I haven't started it yet. This is going to be a one that is going to be live taking place, not recorded.
okay,
Love. Mm-hmm.
okay, all right, okay. So thank you, sister. You know
You're
what I'm
welcome.
saying? Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this here concludes our maiden voyage here, or I should say, our relaunch of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. And the date of this episode here is June 24th, 2025. So, thank everybody for tuning in. Appreciate the input that we had on our maiden voyage right here, and let's build from here. So
And then
therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we're
put
okay. You got any?
a
Yeah,
gift
you got
star.
any closing comments?
Give everybody give stars so Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced can keep growing. And we got some ideas, but they're gonna cost. They're not free. You know what I mean? Even this is not free for real. So throw the stars as many as possible. So we can get those cash apps out there. Yeah, yeah. Support Shabaka and the Black Experience Enhanced. How you say it, Shabaka? From the beginning of the time. Say it one more time for me.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yes, sir. And when we do this right here, and we deal with the Black experience from the beginning of time until 10 minutes ago.
Right on. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, because every day is Black history. You know what I'm saying? Every day from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Okay, all righty. Okay, and we're asking Sister here, Maad Anakat, do you have any closing comments, ma'am?
All I wanted to say about you were talking about the monkey, but ain't that monkey pops you talking about?
Okay, that could be from it too, sister. And then keep in
Yeah,
mind,
monkey
yeah,
pops.
glad you,
No,
yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. And keep in mind though, too, if you recall, sister, because you're my elder. You remember when John F. Kennedy was the president and he was having the Peace Corps going to Africa?
Yeah.
Okay, all righty. So therefore, he was sending the Peace Corps over there to Africa, supposedly feeding the children, upgrading the place right there, and giving them all those inoculations.
Mm.
Yeah. And gave them the
Okay, now,
monkey pops because the monkey pops, I did a presentation on that, and I made a booklet of the monkey pops, so I got a lot of on the monkey pops. There was someone that came from. They say they came from Africa, and there was a plane that he was flying on. They got the person that came from Africa. Found out he had monkeypox, but all the other people that was on that plane, they can't find.
Mm.
So
Wow.
it's in United States, but they don't know where they at because they all was on the plane that caught the
yeah.
monkeypox from that person that brought it in.
the
Uh, uh, uh,
statistics, the,
uh,
the statistics, the statistics on monkeypox say that this is definitely here, but it's staying in one community, and it's not the heterosexual community.
okay,
It is
But
okay,
the
okay. Now
predominant.
monkeypox
that,
is all over
It's all over, yes, ma'am. But
because
it is
those people.
staying. It's staying. It's staying in the gay community, though. It's not popping up in the heterosexual community.
This person
mm-hmm.
that caught the monkeypox that came from Africa, he wasn't gay.
I understand
Uh,
that, but here in the United States, for some reason, the monkeypox is staying amongst gay men and women who dibble with those gay men, and is not transitioning over into the heterosexual crowd.
Oh, okay. All right. How about that?
okay. Okay, all righty, okay, all righty, folks, okay, and I'm making a log here, and appreciate Queen Mother coming in there, dropping down the knowledge of the ancestors, you know what I'm saying, and the elders, you know what I mean. Okay, so we're gonna end this stream right here, and the episode, the date of this air date of this episode is June 24th, 2025, and we're gonna bend everybody a good night from Sin City. Yeah,
Ended
Black power.
ended with the
always.
with the segregation. You want to end it with the segregation?
Yeah, yes, sir, and yes, sir, and thank you for reminding me. And then all of us there, as the older folks, okay, remember a guy by the name of George Wallace who made his famous line, okay, segregation yesterday, segregation today, and segregation tomorrow. You say, okay, so this is pretty much what you got going on here in these current political times, except it's at 2.0, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And this is
Yeah, you
a
say,
whole day. There's a whole new day, whole new platform. So let all the is staying positive. It's definitely staying positive. I'm glad y'all
yeah,
run. Yeah.
yes, indeed. And share the playback of this episode. Okay,
And I
so
can I'm driving now.
oh yeah, and then also too, I'm gonna look at brother's comments right here. He said his rage bait comment. We covered that. Then on his last one here, and he says, "Be careful and religious locations, okay, and Negro gatherings, we have no allies. Arabs is mad. All right, brother. Okay, so I just wanted to get that there out there for you. Okay, so good night from Las Vegas, Nevada. Take care.
Black.
Salute.
All right now.
I have stood where once Jefferson Davis stood and took